China, the UN and its agencies have pledged more than $1.2 billion emergency aid to help Afghans facing a humanitarian crisis in the war-torn country. Here's a report.
The United Nations pledged more than $1.2 billion in emergency aid to help 11 million Afghans facing an escalating humanitarian crisis in their homeland. The funds will also support millions more in the region as the United Nations human rights chief voiced concerns about the Taliban's first steps in establishing power. At the first high-level conference on Afghanistan since the Taliban took power a month ago, Western governments, big traditional donors and others announced pledges that went beyond $606 million that the United Nations was seeking through the end of the year.
Funding will throw a lifeline to Afghans who lack those services, to the small children that Henrietta, 4 of UNICEF, spoke of, who face the risk of acute malnutrition, to the many women and girls who could lose their access to reproductive health services, and much more, as we have discussed.
Officials at the United Nations Refugee Agency, UNHCR, have expressed concerns that more Afghans could take refuge into neighboring Pakistan and Iran, which both already have large numbers of Afghans who fled their country during the past decades of war. United Nations Under-Secretary General Martin Griffiths urged donors to turn pledges into cash contributions as fast as possible.
This is a productive day, but it's far from the end of the journey. Afghanistan, as we have heard, faces a long and a hard road ahead. This meeting shows that we can have solidarity with the Afghan people and that we need to be with them in the long, hard road ahead. Thank you very much.
It is feared that Afghanistan could further plunge towards an economic collapse, given the sanctions that could be imposed and famine gripping the region. Bureau Report, Republic TV.